Alrighty, and welcome to the Principles of Success. My name is Nathan, and this is Season 1, Episode 4. So, I want to start out with this. There is zero chance that you can be successful if you have a victim mindset. Success is hard. Really hard. Like, super hard. And there is zero chance that if you don't take responsibility that you can be successful. And if you have a victim mindset, you're pushing all of the blame and all the responsibility on some other. And it just doesn't work. You can't be successful with that mindset. There's lots of mindsets that you can't be successful. But that is the biggest one that I've seen holding so many people back. Because if you say it's not my fault, it's that person's fault, or this organization's fault, or my boss's fault, or my mom's fault, or my dad's fault, or my siblings' fault, they screwed me over. It's the system's fault. None of that helps you. And because success is so hard, anything that doesn't help you is going to weigh you down. And if you get weighed down too much, you're going to lose. And figuring it out is really hard. You have to do this and do that and do this and do a million other things. And you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what not to do. In fact, that's how you figure out what to do most of the time, is by figuring out what not to do. So it's hard. You got to keep working at it. And if you don't cut the bad things and replace them with good things, then you're going to have too much weight on your back and you're going to fall behind. Great example of this is backpacking, actually. That's why I've referenced your back and stuff like that. I've done backpacking. I've done a thing called Philmont, where I went and hiked 100 miles in 2 weeks, and that was exhausting, but it was a lot of fun. And when you do backpacking, you learn that even light things get heavy after a few miles. And they add up. The more you have, the heavier it weighs, and the heavier that weight is, the more it feels as time progresses. So you have to carefully examine everything in your backpack. And in this example, the backpack is your mind. Is your news feed helping you or hindering you? I love politics, but I'm constantly trying to avoid it, because most politics this day and age is pure negativity, and negativity does not help you become successful. Is your diet helping or hindering you? Is your family members helping or hindering you? Is your friends helping or hindering you? You have to take account of all of this stuff. Is your bedtime, or more accurately for most people, lack thereof, helping or hindering you? Is getting startled by an alarm helping or hindering you? For me in particular, an alarm actually screws things up, because I have to be overly cautious with my energy output, because I have a below average amount of energy than most people. So for me in particular, a morning alarm is actually a hindrance, whereas for most people it would be a boon. So these aren't all generalities that can apply equally to everyone. You have to examine your life and your environment and see what is a boon and what is a bust. Another example of where one principle, or where for what would apply to most people as a boon, would be a bust for me. I love my family. Family is great. My parents' house is chaos. I can't get any work done at my parents' house. So for some people, it would be a boon, it would be a benefit for them to move back home because it lets them cut their expenses, which then you can use the extra cutting of expenses to propel yourself forward in financial terms. For me, I can't get any work done there, so it is more beneficial for me to have that extra expense of living outside of my parents' house, even though it cuts into my finances a bit because I'm able to produce more, which actually increases my finances. So that's another example. So you have to take stock of your environment and what's going on because it's hard. And figuring it out is hard. You have to basically know what you're looking for first. That's why goals are important. Then you have to figure out how to get those goals. Then you have to figure out that what you thought was figuring it out was actually just the first step because you actually didn't have any idea of what you were doing. When I first started my marketing agency, I'd been studying business for 2 years at this point. I'd been studying marketing for 2 years at this point. And then I officially started, and I fell flat on my face. It was not at all, I was nowhere near as prepared as I thought I was. So, figuring it out is really difficult. In fact, that's why I created this, the principles of success. Because successful people all say and do pretty much the exact same things. Some are better at certain principles than others. Some might disagree somewhat about certain principles, but for like 99%, they all agree on the exact same principles because they're all successful. And success isn't an accident. When you follow these principles, you're going to get success. One of the principles is persistence. It might take 20 years, but you're going to get success. And so figuring it out's really hard. And you have to, in my case, you have to figure it out all on your own. But by compiling this list of principles, I'm hoping that it'll be of benefit to you and help your progression be faster. Because figuring it out is hard, but doing it is way harder. Because I've known all these principles for a long time. In fact, most of these principles you already know. All I'm doing is putting them all in one spot and making you realize that that's a principle of success. Most of these principles you already know. Applying them and doing them is extremely hard. Working hard is hard work. Educating yourself is hard work. Eating right and exercising is hard work. Relationships are hard work. Because people are mean. People are mean and people are selfish. So you have to work hard to maintain those in good relationships. And so it's hard. You have to have a right mindset. Doing it is even harder. And hopefully this list helps you. So I think I'm actually going to cut it there. And thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. I need all the help that I can get to spread this to people. So if it was of benefit to you, I really do ask that you not only listen to it, but you share it and let other people know that it was of benefit to you. Because honestly, I think that's a good thing to do. If you find benefit of something, you should let people know about it. That's why I'm creating this, is because I figured this out, and most of the people around me growing up had no idea. Most people around me growing up, including myself, thought that all the money in the world had already been made. That statistically, which is a true statistic, 80% of people get divorced. And that one isn't false, but I believe that the reason why it's so high is because people don't know how to make relationships work. So anyway, please share. Please let your friends and family know that it was of benefit to you. If it was of benefit to you. If you thought it was a complete waste of time, let me know, and preferably help me figure out how to do it. Anyway, I've been rambling for a little bit now, so thank you, and I'll see you next time.